Welcome to Sam Outside. I'm Sam and I'm outside, enjoying this time in nature. American poet John Muir wrote a simple line: "Into the woods I go to lose my mind and find my soul." Man, we can, you can find that everywhere, right? It's such a powerful piece of literature, right? The emotions it evokes in a simple message, all right? Go into the forest. Yep, find some forest, find nature. It's more than nature, though. It's very specific. Um, as a certified forest therapy guide, it's forests, all right? The association that I trained with to become a certified guide, GIFT, the Global Institute of Forest Therapy, and then they added Nature Connection, all right? The counterpart to that, the American company that certifies forest therapy guides, they do it internationally, but it's American owned, ANFT, all right? The Association of Nature and Forest Therapy. So nature connection, nature therapy can happen anywhere, all right? Picture the nature connection one might get along a beach, right? In a savanna, right? Just out for a paddle. But slightly different connections, talking about biodiversity available in a forest relative to a landscape or a biome that doesn't include trees. Now, they exist everywhere, but it's the forest. And it's not just the trees, it's everything that comes with trees, all right? The amount of biomass in insects, right? That great collection of producers, the trees, shrubs, other low-growing perennials, they invite a host of herbivores, insect life, which invites birds, which invites other mammals, which entices and invites us. So forests just offer more, right? So we can have nature connections, right? But it's the forest. Into the woods I go to lose my mind, right? To get rid of what's happening up here, right? And the science is out there. I mean, every major university has research, time, funding going into the health benefits of spending time outdoors, time in nature. Time in nature, all right? And there's a reason for the studies happening in nature because of the accessibility of forests, all right? They're not everywhere, and they're certainly not for everyone. So we're not talking about going to Yosemite. We're not talking about being dropped in the middle of the Amazon, because that might bring its own inherent risks. That might be too much nature. There's too much that is unknown, that might be unsafe. So what we're really talking about in most of these studies that are linking the health benefits are your local parks, conservation areas, not so very far away from civilization, because that brings with it its own element of control, its own element of safety, all right? The ability to get help, to have resources at your disposal, the comforts for human life, right? The studies show that time in nature allow us to practice some mindfulness, which allows us to focus on being present, being mindful of the sights, the sounds, the smells, the movement, and the feeling that comes with other living things. And it grows a deeper appreciation on a global sense of who we are on a larger scale as animals on this planet. What it's also doing is not allowing your brain to continue to remain focused, all right? It allows you to get into the parasympathetic, the rest and digest part of your nervous system, getting you away from the sympathetic, which is directly related to the release of stress hormones. And hey, we need them. They've served us well. They've kept us alive, right? That fight, flight, or freeze, that's the sympathetic. Now, when people are dealing with grief, anxiety, depression, trauma, that constant presence of cortisol and stress, it changes you, right? It affects your immune system. It affects your capacity to be creative, to focus, concentrate, problem solve, share, connect. It starts to affect your digestion, your cardiovascular, your ability to breathe calmly, all right? There's a sense of loss of control, right, over who you are and what you're doing, and that just leads to other downward spirals related to self-esteem, self-regulation. So, get out of your own head, all right? When you're in the parasympathetic, this part right here, the frontal cortex, all right? That part is stress-free for a couple moments. And the sympathetic is slowed. It's not gone, but that time in nature allows for a different type of focus. Into the woods I go to lose my mind, stop thinking, and find my soul, all right? Right here. Be at one with the world, be at one with yourself, be one with those other things we see, smell, hear, see move, all right? The insects, birds, the wildlife, the trees, right? The things that are providing us with life and oxygen. So it's more than just the biomass of the producing trees and the other green life. Can't exist without water, right? That's 75 to 80% of what we're made of. And water has a purpose, water has a need. So we need to be surrounded by water, right? And there are some parts of nature where water is not as plentiful as it is in a forest, right? Sometimes nature could be nothing but water, but it can also be quite the opposite. So with that water, with that greenery, comes life. And that's the healing power. So go into a forest, get out of your own head, and start to connect in its simplest terms. Into the woods I go to lose my mind, find my soul. Right? The frontal cortex is responsible for aspects of rumination, dwelling, right? Takes your focus away from the things that are actually happening around you that can actually heal, that actually benefit you, help give you direction. So, such powerful words, right? That's the whole point of poetry. It's meant to inspire, right? Each one of those words has literal meaning, but the implied reference of putting them all together in that one phrase, it's at the core of what I believe, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, because I truly believe that I'm a healthier, happier human being, right? Making me the best protector and provider for my children, my wife, my life, my career. So that's why I go into the woods, to actually lose my mind. And I do find my soul, right? There's a calm and a peace in nature that is within all of us. So please, go outside, find a safe, green space, your local park, conservation area, right? 20 minutes, a couple times a week. Find a greater opportunity to do it for a couple hours on a weekend, and then plan one trip a year where you can get outside and spend 3 days, right? That's the formula. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Please go outside, inspire others, read some poetry. It's good for you. All right. Thanks again. See you soon.